So, a few of you guys seemed to have some issues. The last video I made with these Oreos. Claiming that I never eat any of them. Well, it's your lucky day. I've got 3 of them here. And we're gonna do kind of a combo thing. We're also gonna talk about thinking like ginger. So basically, and I'm no expert in this. Here's the disclaimer, I'm not an expert. If I get stuff wrong, I'll put a note in the description, or maybe I'll cut things out of the video, I don't know. We'll see where it lies. But anyways, the basic idea of thinking like ginger is that you have kind of no beginning and end, and your thoughts can kind of sprout out into different shoots, as it were. And what? Don't worry about it. It's fine. So I'm pretty sure this is the only Oreo I've ever had that's got like a two-tone filling to it. So you've got kind of one that looks sort of like peanut butter, I guess, and then one that's pink. So I suppose it's like the dough of the donut and the frosting. And the frosting is what had the sparkles in it, the glitter. Now, it's not to say that it's a manner of thinking that's completely unstructured. There are still connections kind of with everything, because part of it is sort of this idea of monoism or monism, that it's all one, that, everything is interconnected eventually, You might have noticed a new thumbnail style for this video. That's because we're taking things in something of a direction here. Don't get too excited. I haven't planned out any specifics yet other than what I'm doing today. But just kind of keep an ear to the ground, as it were. Keep your eyes peeled for exciting new developments on the channel. And also do prepare yourself for the possibility that I'll just make like 3 videos and then disappear again. Just because I don't have a ton of ideas, but I might get some, It does taste like a donut, though, with frosting. I've eaten a fair number of these, so I've kind of grown numb to it almost. I'm having to kind of go back and try and recapture the experience for you, but it's like really sweet, like a donut. You bite into it, and the texture is still exactly like an Oreo, because that's what it factually is. So it's kind of weird. You might expect that it would be all frosting flavored, because this stuff is kind of like frosting, but you really do get kind of an interesting mixture, so that's fun. So obviously, if everything's connected, then you can kind of hop around back and forth different sides of this root of ginger. develop one thing over here, develop one other thing over there, without losing the plot, I guess. And that's, that's interesting. I find it intriguing. I always am up for expanding my mind with some new way of thinking, some new culture, or new meeting new people, or that kind of thing, or reconnecting with old people. And not old people. I mean, I talk to enough old people in my job to keep me plenty happy with that, let's just say that I might get a few questions about how to operate a smartphone in very basic ways, just because I'm younger than they are. And truthfully, I don't mind. I've been told that I should monetize this ability of mine to give some useful consumer-facing technology advice, that I should kind of have sort of a small business and put up flyers around, like kind of a dog walking style of thing. You just sort of put up a flyer. Hey, do you not know how to send group texts on your phone? Call this number and I will tell you how to do it. As an example, that was what I had to do today. Because it's so easy to forget that there are people out there, like a lot of people, who didn't grow up with this stuff at all. And it's not basic intuition. It's not intuitive for them to work any of these systems that we all kind of take for granted. I mean, even something as simple as typing in like your login, your lock password on your phone, if you have one of those, if you don't just use your face or your finger or your veins on your hand or whatever to identify yourself. But it's just interesting, There are people out there who would find a typewriter easier to operate than like the keyboard on a phone, like a touch keyboard. And so there's a market out there for tech products that look backward while they're looking forward, like the last BlackBerry they ever made, the Key 2. Technically, the last BlackBerry was the Key 2 LE, but that was just like a TCL thing. It doesn't really count. TCL is like this company that buys brands that have some cachet. They like put those brands on like commodity smartphones and sell them. It's not RIM actually doing BlackBerries anymore, even if there are BlackBerries out there. But anyways, the point is, the last BlackBerry, the Key 2, had a physical keyboard because there are people out there who might have grown up or gotten accustomed to the BlackBerry keyboard, the actual physical keyboard, in like the early 2000s or in the early aughts or in the 90s or whatever. And, it ran Android because the BlackBerry operating system crashed and burned. You can't really do your own mobile operating system anymore. But yeah, just interesting to think about, I guess. I've been kind of shopping. I've just been window shopping. Don't worry. I just opened up a window on the computer and I went shopping. See, this is actually helpful because now I know when my jokes are landing. But I wanted to show you the inside. Oh, well, I wanted to show you the other side of the inside to prove that there is something in there that resembles like sprinkles. I have no idea if the focus is hunting or not, but yeah, that's legit. There's actual stuff in there. And you're like, ew, gross, put it back. But it is possible to think this way, to go back and kind of branch off more into something, expand out on it more. It's not just a way of thinking. Like, there's a bunch of things you can do with this sort of mindset. I don't have really time to go into exactly. But I hope it came across okay. I mean, you know, like these things are totally connected. The Oreos are pretty good. I was window shopping for keyboards that are shaped like typewriter keyboards. BlackBerry phones aren't made by BlackBerry anymore. If you can find one, it's all interconnected, because you could watch a YouTube video on a BlackBerry key too. You know, this is a YouTube video that I'm in right now. But part of it was also that everything doesn't have to be connected to the same root. Like, it doesn't have to spread out from one point. It can come up out of multiple, it can shoot out multiple times, and then those multiple things can sprout their own roots as well. And so you kind of, I don't know if I'm really nailing it, but I'm sure someone will tell me.